Hello, my name is Sonia Ross. I'm a psychotherapist, intuitive messenger, and author. And this is the June 2024 collective reading. So, welcome. Thank you for joining me for the first time, and thank you for coming back if you're returning. Okay, so I've already checked in with Spirit and I have the right cards. I'll just say first and foremost that anything I say here is never meant to be predictive. It's all about the energy for June of 2024 to help, just let us know what we're going to be working with and, how to best navigate it. I can already tell you there's a lot going to be going on with water and emotion. And so that's just, where we want to start. Okay, so Spirit told me to draw 6 cards, and I have 6 cards. So we're going to get started. Let me make sure I have, I guess I'll just leave them like this. Okay. Do, 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 do. So for the collective reading, I don't necessarily do any obstacles. I just try to tell you about the themes and the energies for the month. Like when I do my numerology readings, those I usually, the second position is an obstacle, but I don't do that for the collective. Okay, so here we go. So the first card we have for the month of June 2024 is the 7 of Pentacles, okay? And then we have the 5 of Swords, okay? Interesting. And then we have the 5 of Cups. Okay, so we already have 2 5s. Interesting. So there's going to be a lot of changes going on in June of 2024 for the collective around our thinking and around our emotions, because 5s have to do with change. Then we have the Chariot, okay? Strength, will, and determination. And then we have my girl, the High Priestess. She's here. And then we have the Queen of Wands. Interesting. Okay. So the cards we have for June 2024 are the 7 of Pentacles, the 5 of Swords, the 5 of Cups, the Chariot, the High Priestess, and the Queen of Wands. So let me rearrange these differently because I feel like they're going to fall. Oop, oop. Give myself some more space here, right? Okay. So first let's see what Spirit has to say about, okay, Ranger cards. Okay. Spirit, what do you want to say about the 7 of Pentacles? Okay. What do you want to tell us about the 7 of Pentacles? Okay, so for the 7 of Pentacles, in June of 2024, as a collective, we're really going to be taking stock of what we've built, what we've created, and what we have around us. What else would you like to say about the 7 of Pentacles? We're really going to be looking at the things that have kind of gone bad in our lives, or kind of like spoiled, because this card, he's kind of looking at his harvest, and you're going to be deciding in June of 2024 as the collective if we have grown some things that don't serve us, that are kind of spoiled, they've kind of gone bad, and we may be throwing some things out. We may be throwing some things out, we may be tossing them away. Because in my mind, I'm seeing like rotten fruit and tomatoes and stuff like on the ground, like it's no good. We're just going to get rid of it. And so we all as a collective, we may be going through that. You may be going through that. You're looking at some things in your life and you're like, I don't like how this looks. I want my orchard to look completely different, and I want to have different different things in my life, and I want things to be different. And so instead of me just holding on to the things that no longer serve me, that are actually really rotten, and if I keep on holding on to them, they're going to be poisonous to me, let me release them and let them go. Because the thing about, and I keep on getting this fruit example, is that sometimes when you ever leave stuff in the fridge, like fruit or whatever, and if there's one piece of fruit that's still fresh, but the other piece is going bad, because they're together, the other piece that's actually kind of still okay will start to go bad sooner. It's kind of like that. And so this is going to be a time where we're going to be eliminating the bad pieces of fruit from our life. Spirit is using a fruit reference. You're going to be eliminating of the bad pieces of fruit from our life. What else would you like to say about the 7 of Pentacles? Yeah, the 7 of Pentacles is basically a metaphor for our inner harvest, Spirit is saying. Our inner harvest and our inner wealth. And Spirit is saying it's a time to assess the damage and make a change. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So Spirit's saying the Seven of Pentacles for June of 2024 is about our inner harvest and that it's time to assess the damage and make a change, which is interesting because then we get 2 5 cards. And in the fives in the tarot, a lot of them all have to do with loss, regret, conflict. And you have 2 5s. We have 2 5s in for June 2024, the Five of Swords and the Five of Cups. And so with the Spirit saying about assessing the inner harvest and letting go of the things that no longer serve us, that makes sense that the Five of Swords and the Five of Cups come up. Because with the Five of Swords, we're assessing our thinking, we're assessing our mind, we're assessing our thoughts, we're assessing the things in our own minds that have made us to feel defeated. These could be programs we've received around our culture, our gender, our identity, um, things that have been like, that we need to change and that we need to develop in a new way. But this is just me. Let me see what Spirit has to say. What do you want to say about the Five of Swords? Yeah, the Five of Swords is about mental changes. And it's about, we're going to be working with self-defeating thoughts and self-defeating ideas. Because in this, in this, in this card, two of the people are walking away, right? And this other person, he has 2 swords at his feet and he's holding 3. So this is about work. And so basically, this guy's basically considered a card of defeat. But what Spirit is saying that we have to work with our thinking so that we don't feel defeated. And we have to work with the things that we tell ourselves that make us feel defeated. We have to work with our defeating thoughts, the thoughts that limit us and hold us back and keep us constrained. Because the greatest prison in the world is a mental prison. And since it's a 5 and 5 is about change, this is about that we need to change that. We need to change that as a collective, and we need to change that on an individual level. In all the readings I've been doing for 2024, it has been said, like, I get swords cards all the time. Probably the readings I've done for July, I didn't get any. So I got occasional swords cards, which you would expect. But from January up until about May or June, all I got was swords cards. And so this has been the first 6 months of 2024 has been about us really, really working with our mind and really, doing, I call it an excavation, an excavation of the things that are defeating to us, the things that make us feel powerless, the things that, make us feel like we can't progress. And that always, always begins with our mind. Our mind is our greatest enemy. I just said in another reading, our mind can be our greatest enemy or our greatest friendship. You know what I mean? So we really have to work for June of 2024 about removing the things from our mind and our consciousness, Spirit is saying, that have been defeating to us. What else would you like to say about the Five of Swords? What does the Five of Swords symbolize for the collective for June of 2024? The Five of Swords symbolizes the transition from, they're saying, collective defeat, mental defeat, and internal defeat. We have to really engage in these energies within ourselves where we're feeling defeated. And, for different reasons, we may be feeling defeated, but Spirit is saying we have to engage with that to overcome it. We can be feeling mentally defeated, and then we're moving into the Five of Cups. We may feel like we've been emotionally defeated. We may feel like we're feeling emotionally defeated, but we have to work with ourselves through these energies of defeat. You want to say anything else about the Five of Swords? Okay, so Spirit is saying that emotional defeat, that's going to be one of the themes of June of 2024. So don't think of emotional defeat as something negative is happening. Spirit is trying to call to your attention the ways you already feel emotional defeated, and you have to begin to engage with them. You have to begin to heal it. You have to begin to help yourself through it, and you have to begin to process it in a new way. Because again, it's a five, and fives are about change. But again, because we have the five of wands, which is about fighting, physical fighting, conflict. We have the five of swords, that's about, defeat. We have the five of cups, which is about um, loss. And we have the five of pentacles, which is about poverty. So we have 2 5 cards for the collective reading, and fives are all about change. So yes, while on the surface it could say, oh wait, I'm going through a loss, it's also saying that can be changed, because fives are all about change. That fives in numerology are all about change. They're a very dynamic number, and they are the number of change. And so Spirit is saying we're being called on for June of 2024 to really engage with ourselves about the emotional changes that we are going through. Like, to really engage with ourselves about our emotional changes. Like, if we're feeling defeated emotionally, if we're filled with regret, with if we've experienced a loss, Spirit is saying for June of 2024, you're being called on to engage with that energy. Because in this card, three cups are tipped over, but 2 are still standing up. So there's still some energy and power there. But sometimes if we're feeling really trampled over, we won't take action. It is how it is when you feel hurt. You just feel like you got kicked in the gut. But Spirit is saying, no, we have to engage with that energy, and we have to begin to transmute it. That's the word Spirit is using. This is going to be a process of transmutation around our thinking and around our emotions. And that transmutation is going to be a dynamic change for us. And that we have to do this for ourselves. We have to do this for ourselves. There's no reason for us to stay limited or stuck in any way. And then we have the Chariot. Is there anything else you want to say about the Five of Cups? Okay, so then we have the Chariot. And so the Chariot is going to help us in June of 2024 to move forward, to heal and to grow and move forward with determination and vigor. And it's going to be that energy of the Chariot that's going to help us to go forward with the change that Five of Swords energy, to change that Five of Cups energy. What would you like to say about the Chariot, Spirit? Any change that happens only happens through strength, will, and determination. And so for June of 2024, as a collective, we have to begin engaging with our strength, will, and determination. I know there's a lot happening in people's personal lives. There's a lot happening on the planet. Different things are taking place. But Spirit is saying none of that has an immediate effect on you in most cases. Yes, you're seeing things. Yes, you may be feeling the energies. Yes, it's very strong, but you are still you. There's a strong chance your life has not been affected in certain ways, and that you can still engage with your strength, your will, and your determination, and not give into the energy of defeat. And this is not about at all. You don't need to put on any mask and act like you don't see suffering in the world, that you don't have personal struggle. But Spirit is saying, be that as it may, you must engage with your own personal power, your own self-determination, and your own will. You cannot go by what your eyes see. You have to connect with Spirit from within and engage with yourself in that way. And part of the journey on earth that most of us fail at miserably is that we feel disempowered. We feel like we're adrift on this big blue marble, and that things are just happening and we don't have any control. And that is not the truth. When we are in touch with our own inner power, we have control, we have sovereignty, and we have dominion. And so that's basically the secret. We have control, we have sovereignty, and we have dominion. But most people never connect with that because they think it's circumstantial. And the trick is, it's not. Okay, it's not circumstantial. This is not in any way to negate people's actual suffering. the traumas they've been through, the mental health crisis they're going through, the physical limitations they may have, the financial limitations they may have. But the trick bag is that, be that as it may, number one, our soul chose those things so that they can experience how they navigate through that process. And two, that when we connect with ourselves and our our inherent spiritual power under all circumstances, then those things are transformed and changed. When look, I do not read the Bible, so I'm about to quote this, and I apologize for, y'all probably know better than me, but is it Jesus that says in the Bible, let your mind be transformed? This is what they're talking about. Your mind is transformed when you know who you truly are, when you know that you're not just a physical being just down here having a physical experience. You're not a physical being having a physical experience. You're an ancient being having a spiritual experience, and you're an eternal being having a temporary physical experience. And when you tap into your eternal, ancient, cosmic power, then it's all temporary, and you can just transform a lot of stuff. And when you are engaged with your power in that way, amazing things can happen. It's true, and spirit wants you to know that. And that's the trick, right? That's the trick, and that's the missing link, is that when we engage with our spiritual power, amazing things can happen in our lives, in our minds, we can be, or just transformed. We are. And so that leads us into the energy of the high priestess. Hold on, let me check. Is there anything else you want to say about the chariot? Okay. And so again, so then that leads us to the high priestess. And so when we connect with the energy of the high priestess, she's here as a metaphor and an example of our true power when we connect with our intuition, our true power when we connect with the spiritual realm and our divine wisdom. She's here to help us with this, because she's here to help us access who we truly are. And so for June of 2024, for the collective, just remember, we all have the power of the high priestess in front of us. We all have the power of the high priestess. It is not about having psychic abilities. This is not about being clairvoyant. It's not about any of that stuff. If you have those abilities, great. But if you don't have them, you're fine, because you're still an ancient energy being. You don't need to be a clairvoyant, a fifth generation psychic, or anything like that. You are an ancient energy being. And so Spirit is saying, stand in that power as an ancient energy being that's eternal, that's having a temporary physical experience. And, we have to ground ourselves in that knowledge right now, because there's so much, like, the earth is literally a horror show on so many levels. And, it's totally okay to be angry and to be sad and be empathetic and want things to change. That is fine. But don't ever let anything that you see happening around you or in your life take you out of your own power as a divine ancient energy being. You are an ancient energy being. Own that. And use that to go into the higher realms, to connect with your spirit, to connect with your guides, and say, help me to try and transform that Five of Swords energy regarding my mind. Show me how to transform that Five of Cups energy around my emotions. Strengthen me through the energy of the Chariot to move with strength, will, and determination. Please send me guides and messages to help me sync up to the spiritual realms. And the other thing I want to say is that when we're in the Five of Swords and the Five of Cups energy, we're vibrationally, we are at 200 or below in the level of consciousness. To really work with spirit in a deeper way, we have to be above 200. And so ask spirit to help you raise your vibration. You have to do your part. You have to take care of your nervous system. You have to move your body to move energy out, get stuff out of your tissues, work with your thinking. You have to, seek any type of supportive counseling you need. There, you have a part to play. So we're not trying to spiritually bypass your actual experiences that you've had by being in the physical body. But you're being called on to work with these experiences so that you can Spirit is saying, step into your full power and know what that means for you. Because, Spirit is saying you've always had the power. We have always had the power, but when we set our lives up to when we come down onto this earth, we set our lives up to have certain obstacles. An obstacle where how we are perceived racially, an obstacle of how we are perceived in our gender, an obstacle about how we're received in our gender identity, an obstacle about the culture we come from, an obstacle of our economic status, our country of origin, our religion, our physical abilities, our mental abilities. Our soul sets up all of these obstacles because they want to know how to, Spirit is saying, connect with their inherent power through the challenge of the obstacle. So we set up all these obstacles, the soul sets up all these obstacles for us so that we can learn to plug back in to our inherent power by, they're saying, transversing the obstacle. Okay. What they mean by transversing, they mean like overcoming it. Yeah, they say transversing. I say overcoming, but you get what I mean, right? Okay. And that when we do that, we step into the Queen of Wands energy. And so the Queen of Wands, if you think of the High Priestess as our spiritual self, the Queen of Wands is our physical self. Now, wands have to do with spirit and inspiration. And so the fact that these two cards are together back to back means this is the energy that we're wanting to really take hold of us in June of 2024. Being in our Queen of Wands energy, feeling empowered, connected to spirit, but connected to spirit on an earthly way. Like, she's about the mysteries and the secrets, and she's actually living it. She's actually in the physical and she's living it. So think of the Queen of Wands as us. This is the being that's actually living the spiritual experience in the physical reality. So what do you like to say about the Queen of Wands? The Queen of Wands is a master manifester. She's a woman, a being of intuition and wisdom. She uses her purpose and her fire for wait, hold on. She uses her fire with passion and grace. She is not ruled by her element. She is not ruled by the element. The element, she rules the element. Okay, what they're saying is she does not let the element control her. She controls the element. And Spirit is trying to let us know for June of 2024, that's where we are as a collective. We have to step into our power, our sovereignty, and know that we have the power to control the elements of our life. Can we control everything that happens in the physical world? No. But can we control our emotions? Yes. Can we control our minds? Yes. Can we step into our intuition in a greater way? Yes. Can we step into our wisdom in a greater way? Yes. Can we access our strength, will, and determination? We can. It's not without work, but it can be done. So, okay. Is there anything else you'd like to say about the Queen of Wands? Okay, so Spirit is saying for June of 2024, make sure that we step into our passion or our wisdom with grace. Okay? Use it to step into who we truly are with grace. Okay? Is there any other messages for the collective for June of 2024? So Spirit is saying July will be a little bit gentler for most for 2024. So Spirit is saying July will be a little bit gentler for most in 2024. So Spirit is saying rest easy with that because they understand that it's been very intense time on the planet. And there's been a lot of intensity in our individual circumstances. So July will be a little easier, and they're just showing me like it'll be a little bit easier. It'll be a little softer for most, they're saying. And that since things are going to be a little bit easier, we need to do the work that's necessary to work with our thoughts, work with defeating thoughts, and work with any feelings of emotional loss we're dealing with, and connect with our power to do so. Is there anything else? Okay, so that's awesome. Should I give the people an angel message? Okay, sure. Okay. One message for the collective for June of 2024. One message for the collective for June of 2024. Let's see what the angels want to tell us. Okay. So remember, your themes for the month are, well, I'll say it at the end after I've pulled the card for you. These cards are so big. They're actually, I have long fingers, but they're kind of like bigger than my hand. Okay, let's see what we have to say. One card has caught my eye. Okay, Spirit. Ask and receive. Let's see what we have here. At the bottom of the angel deck, we have courage and bravery. This card is modeled after Joan of Arc. And if you don't know about Joan of Arc, you should look her up. She was a being who lived in the 1400s, I want to say, in 13 or 1400s in France. And she was having clairvoyant and psychic visions. And unfortunately, Miss Joan was burned as a witch. But she helped, she led some type of revolution they were having in France during that time. So, but Joan was burned as a witch. But she's a very powerful being. That's my point. She's a very powerful being. Okay. And so, again, that's kind of just to emphasize Spirit wants us to step into our power, step into the power of change because the energy of change is here. And so we need to work with it and do our best. Okay. Ask and receive. Ask and you shall receive. Your angel guide wants you to know that help is available. You're being encouraged to shift your perceptions and recognize that even in the most difficult of circumstances, a miracle is possible. Whatever miracle you need, it is available to you now. Your angel guide is encouraging you to recognize that you may have been blocking support by saying no to the things you wanted to say yes to and asking you to change that now. When you begin to say yes to the experience that lights you up, you usher increased levels of support into your life. And I showed you the card, right? Ask and receive. The extended message. You may feel that your prayers aren't being heard, but this isn't true. Angels have heard you and are suggesting that you take time to assess where in your work or relationships you may be creating barriers to success. When you are open to seeing and doing things differently, you will experience the answers and miracles you need. You are being encouraged to pray from a space of gratitude now. When you focus on what you are grateful for, you align your energy with the miraculous. Heaven is encouraging you to welcome support in all areas of your life. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so that is it for the June of 2024 collective reading. Hope you enjoyed that. If you'd like an in-depth reading with me, an in-depth intuitive reading, the information is in the description box below. But let's just say again, the themes of the month are Seven of Pentacles, evaluation, getting rid of the rotten fruit, really working with the ways we feel defeated mentally so that we can change it, working with the ways we feel, emotional regret so that we can change it, moving forward with strength, will, and determination. That's what's going to help us work, make changes in our life. Connecting to the higher spiritual realms, calling on our angels and guides, working with our spiritual senses so that we can have the physical experience of doing it through the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands represents us doing it, how we show up on the physical level after doing this work. So I hope it all makes sense. I felt like this was really great. Felt good doing it. So my name is Sonia Ross. I'm a psychotherapist, intuitive messenger, and author. And this was the June 2024 collective reading. Please leave your thoughts below. Let me know how it resonated with you, how it felt, all that good stuff. And I'm sending you many, many blessings for June of 2024. Peace.